all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to make this adorable fanny pack. Some of you may also call this a bum bag. We've been going back and forth on the name. Nonetheless, it's designed to be worn on the waist. I like this particular design because I integrated a zipper that is for blue jeans, so it's a locking zipper. So when that's in the closed position, you cannot unzip this bag. So that adds another layer of security. And then when you move that over, the bag unzips. This bag is nicely padded and it will hold the iPhone 6 Plus perfectly, with room up top there for keys, lip gloss, you know, the very essentials. It ties around the waist, and one of the ties I'll show you is shorter than the other one so that you could tie that right up front. And I think that the tie is adorable and adds a really cute touch to this. However, you could easily integrate a buckle if you like. So for this project, you're going to need approximately a half a yard of quilt weight cotton and some Pellon foam and a 7-inch denim locking zipper. So we're going to head on over to the sewing table and I will go over the project from start to finish. So shall we get started? Okay, so don't worry about writing down all the pattern measurements. You can scroll down to the notes field and find all of those listed for you, or you can hop on over to Sewspire.com and see complete project roundup. So as mentioned, you're going to need a 7-inch zipper that is designed for jeans, and you're going to need some Pellon stabilizer. I am using Pellon FF78F1, which also has one side that's fusible. The fusibility is nice, but not necessary. If you can't find this particular brand, just go with the standard FF77 Pellon. You're going to need approximately a half a yard of fabric, cotton, which you're going to pre-cut into two 3-inch by 44-inch strips, which will fashion the waist tie, one 6 by 8 piece, one 8 by 10 piece, and two 8 by 8 pieces. And this is all you need to craft this awesome bag. For the foam, you're going to have 3 pieces which measure 7 inches across by 4 inches, 7 inches across by 2 inches, and 7 by 7. So we're going to begin with the waist straps. To size the waist tie to your measurements, you're going to want to cut these 3-inch wide strips and then measure your waist and add 17 inches, okay? So once you have that measurement, go ahead and stitch these two pieces of fabric together to create one very long strip. And you can trim off that selvage there. And then cut this long strip to whatever your finished measurement was. And then you're going to head on over to the iron and fold this in half, right sides facing, and press that all the way down. I have my strap pressed in half, right sides facing. I want to mark center on that and just crease that with my nail, because I'm going to come in, I'm going to start at the end and I'm going to come in with a slight angle just to create a little bow effect there on the strap. Using a narrow seam allowance, 3/8 is good, 1/8 of an inch if you can do it is even better. Angle that, and I'm going to stitch 3 inches outside, 2.5 to 3 inches outside of that center press line. I'm going to stop and back stitch, then skip ahead an equal distance, forward, back stitch, and continue on to the end of that strap, and then round that off or angle it as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trim off that excess where I rounded that on either side. And then you can use a large safety pin, or if you have a turning tool. This is by Dritz. It's marvelous. It has the little stick and the turning tube. You can use that because we want to turn this right side out. And so using my turning tool, I'm just going to put that blue tube inside of there. And you can find that at the fabric store. Some of your quilt shops may have it too. And then you put the stick in this end, and when you bring that blue tube back out through that hole, you'll see you just press up, and you can use that stick then is inside of there. You can use that to poke out that corner, and then you just take the stick out of that same center opening that we still have, and then repeat the process for the other side. The tube fits up in there, and then turn that. Now I need to head back over to the iron and press this nice and flat, and at that opening I'm going to fold those raw edges inward so that this has a nice finished look. I have this pressed nice. At that opening, you're going to want to stitch that close. I pressed it so good, now I can't even find the opening. There it is. So just go ahead and come on top of that opening with a very narrow top stitch, and you don't have to stitch all the way around the strap, just at that opening. Okay, my waist tie is complete. I'm going to set that aside while I craft the body of this. So you will need your foam for this. We're going to begin with the largest piece, which was 10 by 8. And I want you to fold that in half, wrong sides facing. You can press it if you need to, or in this case, just go over it with your fingernail. Take your piece of 4-inch by 7-inch foam and fit that right inside of there. You want to center it on that bottom panel, and then fold your fabric back over. And we're going to stitch right down the center of that to secure that foam in place. Then take your smaller piece and fold that in half to create a piece that is 8 inches by 3 inches. And take your smallest piece of foam and center that on the bottom portion, and go ahead and stitch right down the center of that to secure the foam. So set those 2 pieces aside. Take your remaining 2 pieces of 8-inch fabric and your 7-inch piece of foam. Position that 1 piece of fabric right side facing down. Center that foam, and then the remaining piece right side facing up, and go ahead and stitch down the middle of that. And then because I did use the fusible foam, I'm going to head back over to the iron and just give both sides of all 3 of these pieces a good press. Okay, then with the 8 by 8 piece, I want to take my strap and attach that just above that center stitch line. So I'm going to line the strap on that center stitch line, and I want to have a 10-inch overhang of that strap on the right side there, And I'm going to go ahead, you can pin it if you need, and I'm going to stitch across the top, down the side, across the base, and up the side to secure this tie or strap to this 8 by 8 inch foam sandwich. Okay, I've made it all the way around and securely attached that strap to the 8-inch foam panel. Now I want to take that remaining ends of the strap and bring them all together here on in the center, and then pin them so that I can make sure I don't capture that strap in the seam as I close this up. So use a couple pins and bunch that all up in the center. Then you will have your folded edges extending just a little bit over the edge there so that we can reinforce those, since they will be a stress point as you tie that apron. So we're going to set that aside for a few minutes and attach our zipper. So the remaining 2 panels, I'm going to take the folded edge and align that with the zipper and stitch the zipper in place down either side. As you go, you may have to open up that zipper and move it around your foot. Just go nice and slow when you're attaching that zipper. Okay, I've attached that zipper to both ends. You want to check the underside and make sure that the zipper is actually attached. Get rid of any stray threads and check that, make sure it functions nice, and in this case it does. Now we want to open that zipper to the halfway mark and then make sure it is unlocked, and take that remaining panel with the strap in the center and position that face down on that zipper panel. And then you can use several pins to hold this in place, or if you think you can manage everything over there, that's fine too. You don't have to use any pins. And what we want to do is stitch all the way around this. Now you have a choice right now. You can create a square panel like I've done here with this one, which I think is very attractive, or you can round those bottom corners as you stitch and have more of a U shape, okay? So for this one, I'm going to do the square, and I'm going to use 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. When I get to those straps, I'm going to back stitch and reinforce those. Okay, I've made it all the way around. I want to trim up all of this excess fabric there. Just be careful not to cut through that stitch line. Now, as you can see, there are still raw edges on the inside of this. If that bothers you, go ahead and add top stitching all the way around. You just will not be able to stitch through that zipper hardware because this is a metal zipper. So stop short of the zipper and back stitch. Okay, so I have 2 versions of the pouch complete, the U shape with the rounded corners and the square. And it's hard for me to choose which one's my favorite. This is nicely padded. Now, I thought too, if you don't have anything else in that top compartment, you could tuck that under. So it's a super cute project. I hope it meets your needs and serves its purpose well. It was an absolute pleasure to sew with you. I will be back soon with another inspired project. Until then, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful day, everyone.